be here. I'm John, one of the co-founders of Ember, and today we're going to share with you our journey and our passion for taking blockchain gaming mobile and how we're on track to help onboard the next billion players into blockchain games. So to start with, just want to take a sort of big overview of what's happening in gaming, right? Because for us, this isn't about Web 2 versus Web 3. This is about gaming. We love making games. So no surprises that overall that, mobile gaming accounts for over, half of overall gaming revenue. And then when we think about Web3 gaming specifically, we're still early. And why are we still early? Well, it's really exciting that a lot of capital has been deployed. So this is from Antler in 2021. 3.3 billion was deployed in 2021. Last year, around 21% of all Web3 capital was deployed into gaming, around 8 billion. But the most interesting thing here about the gaming market when we think about Web3 is this little sort of comment on the bottom right-hand corner is about audience adoption. Because in Web2 gaming, typically the big revenue drivers are the US, China, EU5, for example. Yet in Web3, the countries and players adopting are coming from Korea, Philippines, Vietnam. And there was a great study from Finder NFT that actually showed this. It was the Philippines, it was Hong Kong, it was Nigeria that had already played in their study NFT games and were more likely to. And Philippines was number one with around 25% of players having already played NFT games versus the US market was like 9%, UK was 8%. So outside of all of the capital and revenue, we are still early, but one of the fascinating trends is where the players are in Web3. There's definitely some challenges. Really excited about a lot of the tech that has made building in Web3 gaming a lot easier. Not just the blockchains, marketplaces, launchpad, SDKs, but there's no doubt that from a player perspective, and again, I'm not talking about Web3 degens that have been in crypto a long time. I'm talking about mass market gamers that don't know blockchain. It's still really challenging for them, right? A lot of games, you have to have an NFT to play. Even though free mint is the new meta, you still need to know how to mint an NFT to play a game. A lot of games are still browser based, right? And as we'll come on to, most people are playing mobile games. Wallet setup, kind of near obviously we've got a beautiful wallet and we're building on near, but wallet setup is really challenging, and game discovery is really, really challenging as well. Like it's pretty fragmented right now. Again, Web 2 normies, as we always call them, are not hanging out on crypto Twitter every day. They're not on spaces every night. They're not content creators. They've got jobs. They're working every day. It's really hard to find Web3 games at the moment. Another big challenge is Web3 is that we don't have to worry about with mobile games is these new types of player audiences that we have to try and design and balance game economies for as well. So we have players in Web 2 games and Web 3, but it's this middle category of games who expect to extract something from your game, but specifically the concept of earning, and people that want to speculate on the price of an NFT, the floor price, the token price, is proving, as we saw from the sort of first wave of GameFi, we saw how unsustainable these play to earn game economies actually are, and a lot of projects disappeared. The next slide, versus Web 2 players, right? They don't want to hear about blockchain. They don't want to hear about tech. They just want to play the games that they love playing every day. Just make them more fun. Make them more fun and reward me for it. So actually, when we think about Web3 games, our competition are the giant Web 2 incumbents that have got amazing games. So that's really who we're talking about competition-wise. And then when we put this into perspective and we think about the size of the mobile gaming market, so this was Q4, we're talking around about 47 billion game downloads just in Q4 on mobile games. And the other key point, as I mentioned, Web3 game discovery is hard. Without getting into a big discussion about decentralization, it's so easy to find gaming content through the app stores. Everyone knows how to do it. You don't have to change behavior. People have their Google, their Android device or Apple device, download a game, off they go. So we're really bullish on mobile games driving the next innovation for blockchain games, because quite simply that established user behavior is already there. We don't necessarily have to teach them anything new. And when we think about NFT specifically, well, really what we're talking about is just an evolution of monetization of games. You know, we started off with SMS messages, we then went to like playable ads, banner ads, rewarded videos, and now we have this new thing called NFTs, or digital collectibles, that we can now use to, you know, motivate, attract, and monetize players. And the other point that we come onto is fascinating when we think about gaming, is when we think about this TikTok generation, you know, growing up now, they spend more time gaming. We're talking about culture here than any other form of entertainment, which is fascinating. But around about 85% of all gamers, according to Newzoo, don't even identify as gamers. So for us, this is really interesting when we think about the future of what does Web3 gaming look like. You can see this piece of research here that is fantastic, because gaming is not just about playing a game. Right? Gaming is and always has been about time outside of the game, in communities, creating content, listening to content. You know, think about the amount of gaming content that is on YouTube is now on Netflix. So for us, really, what our bigger vision and what we are now part of is combining gaming with UGC, this strong sense of community and building audiences that is very hard in Web 2 right now, thanks to, you know, some big privacy and ad changes that Apple and Google have made. And then also layering on commerce. You know, Web 2 consumers and gamers are used to buying stuff through their apps. So this really interesting ability to bring this all together. And I just put one example on here that we're going to be partnering with Jambo, that are already doing this in Africa. They're combining fintech with crypto, with existing user behavior to top up mobile phones, and enabling this transfer of wealth from advertising in games to mobile phone credit. So we're really excited about this future. So this really builds onto us at Ember and what we're building. So we have 3 pillars to our business. We have infrastructure. So basically our Unity-based SDK that I'll talk a little bit about, that it sits inside our existing mobile games, that really the premise of it is our ability to then transfer these billions of dollars of locked advertising revenue that primarily goes to all of the Web 2 monetization system that players get no direct benefit for. This new blockchain technology enables us to transfer that back to players and directly reward them in game for their existing behavior and contribution to our ecosystem, and enable them to spend it on, initially it's going to be through a variety of retail partners, but as we start growing, our vision, as per the previous slide, is to really onboard any type of commerce or partner, and bring together players with any kind of rewards, you know, household bills, flights, you name it, that they want to buy. We also love making games as well. So we have the infrastructure that underpins our entire ecosystem that we've built. We also make amazing games, so mobile games, and then we'll start to onboard third-party games into our ecosystem. And then really layering on that, we've talked about some really exciting opportunities for creators, for NFT projects, for brands, to really leverage both our infrastructure and our applications to bring their audiences from Web 2 into Web 3. So the product that I'm just going to walk you through, we have different products within our ecosystem. So of course we have our games, and to be really clear, because this confuses a lot of Web3 gamers, we're talking about our mobile games. So our mobile games, we already have 100 million downloads, 5 million players. We have a great portfolio of games that already exist. And really what we're doing is making blockchain invisible, putting it inside the game, but using blockchain technology and games players love to seamlessly move them into blockchain and layer on this really fun, addictive rewards layer, to then almost teach them, and through digital collectibles, about how to start interacting with the blockchain, but without really using the words blockchain or crypto. Game Studios, it's a Unity-based SDK that you can integrate into your existing mass casual game. So a really important point here, we're talking about mass casual games that billions of people love playing. I'm not talking about high-level RPG, AAA games. This is a very simple Unity-based SDK you could integrate into your game within 1 hour and have all of this functionality. And we're really passionate about letting Game Studios just focus on what they do best, which is making games. So here's a really quick example of how easy it is to onboard a Web 2 gamer into Web 3 within an existing game. So this is a game, Raft Life. It's available worldwide now on iOS and Google Play. So you're playing the game, you see this little Ember icon that you're playing within the game, and you click on it, and you get this middle screen that offers you some really interesting rewards. And all you have to do to sign up is currently sign in with Apple on Google. In the next update, we're integrating more social logins. And then once you input, you sign up with Apple or Google, in the background, we automatically create a wallet for you, and then you're into the sort of reward system, and off you go. So you can see on the screen here, you can open loot boxes and find really fun skins and rewards in those. There's 3 rewarded videos, which is ultimately one of the key monetization layers in mobile games and our business model, which we don't have in Web3 browser games yet. So we use advertising to basically underpin our economy. We've also got a really fun loot boxes. Again, Web2 players all know what loot boxes are, and we've started to actually use loot boxes just as we do in our mobile games as a really fun way for Web2 players to discover like Web3 digital collectibles. And I'll come on to an example of how we're going to do that for a PFP collection. The next product, again, it uses all this technology. It's just another use case of how we can mass onboard players. So we have all our existing games that you can discover and create a Web3 wallet and enter this ecosystem in. And then launching in Q3 is really our vision for social gaming. So I can't share all of it with you because it's a lot of it is in testing, but just a couple of screenshots so you get a sense for it. So imagine really all within one app. Like Apple Arcade, the App Store, so you can find loads of cool games that you want to play within our ecosystem and earn rewards. The thing then we're really excited about is then weaving in this sense of social identity and social gaming, where not only can you create your own avatar that's got some really fun swappable traits, some of which will have some added value and meaning within the game, but also the ability not just, hey, invite your friends because I like playing this game and maybe we'll give you some rewards, but this really fun mechanic that we're building in and really excited about sharing people is the ability to kind of almost create your own social team, but not sort of esports, because that doesn't work for this audience, but more actual social gaming in terms of hunting and playing together for prizes that actually mean something to you as friends. So this is all in the works and being built right now. Then we have Ember IP. Very, very excited about this. So again, using existing game engines, all the tech I've mentioned, but actually enabling now a lot of, so the first 2 examples, you know, Secret Skellies, really, really cool PFP collection on Near and Solana. And then El Cafe Cartel, real OG on Near as well. This is an example of Citizens with Play Ember headphones that Benny's just dropped on Near. So actually what we're doing is we're going the other way. Unlike these sort of Web3 degen browser games, we're actually showing people that you can make high quality, really fun, addictive mobile games to extend their audience and their community's value into mobile games, but actually as a way to onboard and introduce, you know, Web2 players to actually really fun, playful IP. So the Secret Skellies game, this is already been approved by Google Play right now. It's going to be available for anyone can play it, but there's a special sort of competition that will link to a Discord bot for existing holders where they're going to be able to win a whole bunch of Secret Skellies prizes. And it's going to be available on iOS very soon. We've submitted it. And then we're really excited about what's coming for Cafe Cartel. All I can tell you is just keep an eye on El Cafe Cartel's Twitter and what the team there are going to announce that they're collaborating with us. But it's going to be a really fun way for both Web3 degens, Web3 gamers, but also Web2 gamers to find and win and interact with the amazing brand that Benny has built. And then to be announced, also very interesting right now, getting a lot of inbound requests from sports, entertainment companies, movie studios who realize that actually, first and foremost, they need an amazing mobile game, but they're very interested in digital collectibles and want a way to combine the two. So to be announced, we're just actually about to sign the contract for our first major sports IP, where we're going to make a beautiful casual game to really take this IP to Web2 and Web3 players. But there's a very light Web3 element that is built into the game that will enable you to win and collect digital collectibles. And why would you do that? Because if you're a super fan of the IP that we're going to announce, then it's just that added value within the game. But it's not this hard Web3 sell. It's just a really nice natural layer that is added onto the game. And here's just some example of what I'm talking about. Rather than sort of, you know, low quality pixelated games, I'm talking about high value unit alpha as I can share, but you're going to be seeing this really soon from the Skellies. So how are we all doing? Let's get to the stats, because we're all here to build amazing Web3 businesses. So from our beta test, what did we prove? Well, we basically proved that through our technology and through lightly adding blockchain technology into existing mobile games, we were able to see some pretty cool results. So first of all, playtime. We were able to increase day 7 retention by 100%. We're pretty excited about that. We saw a conversion rate. So a conversion rate is someone in our game that actually that opted in and created a wallet of 60%. So 60% of players that we beta tested on actually entered this additional game loop that we created. In terms of ad monetization for us and game studios, we increased ad monetization by 50% for players that then converted. And during this beta period, this was in Q3 last year, we were in the top 20 blockchain games. So we're in closed beta right now, only on our own games, only on a 10% rollout of that 5 million player base, just quietly testing. In total, we've already created 200,000 wallets, and we have around 25,000 weekly active wallets running across 3 different genres of our games. You can see already I pulled this one today. So we're really not pushing this across our full 5 million at the moment. We're really obsessing about data, funnels, and optimizing this experience. And we're now just outside the top 21 overall for games, with a number 2 overall project on there, which we're really proud of, behind Oleg and the team at Sweat Economy. And big shout out to Oleg for everything he's been guiding us and teaching us on. So we're really excited that we're literally just getting started, and we're doing it from a real position of strength, just following the data and building amazing games. Nearly finished. Next slide, if it wants to go. There we go. So a bit of a timeline. How are we going to get to 1 million active wallets? Well, we're going to get there, but let's just look at the next few quarters. So Q2, we're beta testing this lounge project I shared with you. I can't share this with you because it's really it's really big, sort of a big alpha release that we're going to come out with, but it's a really fun instant games app that we see as a mass onboarding tool for the TikTok generation. We'll be launching the Skellies and Cafe Cartel games, and then we believe we'll be around 50k active wallets. In Q3, we'll then move into soft launch of these 2 fun super games. The Play Ember Avatar NFT drop is going to happen. This undisclosed Web3 IP game will be in, this is the undisclosed Web3 game launch. We've also got another cool project that will be soft launching in Q3. And then the soft launch of this sports game will be in Q3. And we conservatively think it will be around about 100k weekly active wallets. And in Q4, we will go into full launch, so global launch, all countries, of our main 2 flagship products, and the launch of our mobile IP game. And fingers crossed, one of these other conversations is going to sign. So we believe, again, conservatively, in Q4 we'll be around 200k active wallets. So that's the plan for the rest of the year in terms of user numbers. But our kind of North Star is to hit next year, once we do another growth round, is to really put all of this on rocket fuel and hit 1 million active wallets. Really quickly, our journey to date. Myself and Hugo, we've been building mobile games, mobile ad tech for a number of years. Hugo's built and run several studios. I have built and run several great publishing companies. I built one of the earliest ad networks, actually with Chris Gale, the founder of Few and Far, that we sold to a US software company listed on the NASDAQ. And then Hugo and I put our heads together to create Play Ember. Play Ember is just over a couple of years old now. So we have a Web2 mobile games team with 100 million downloads, 5 million MAU within our games, which we're really proud of. And we've always run the company as a sustainable, profitable company. And then last year, when we started obsessing over blockchain technology and how it can make mobile games more fun for players and unlock new opportunities for us creatively, we went out and raised a pre-seed round, which I'll come on to in a minute. So this is just some of our team, super fun team. You know, it's why any company is successful. It's just about the people that you work with and their hunger every day. We've got a great mix of experienced people within mobile games publishing. We've got some great Web3 firepower in there. So Sean, you might know him as Near Guru, brings that real sort of DJ and Web3 mentality to the company. Jimmy, our CTO, is a very experienced Rust developer. We've got Yasin, ex-Revolut, Zalando, leading our front end engineering, and we've also got a great advisor team behind us, and I've just put one of them on here, Wally, that helped take skills through IPO, and we've been learning a lot from him about kind of skill-based gaming and retention mechanics. I mentioned last year we did our sort of pre-seed round, and really honored to have just some amazing investors behind us right now that believed in sort of our vision for the future of Web3 gaming for mass casual gamers. So we announced it in Q3 last year. Shima Capital led the round with Wobi Ventures, Big Brain Holdings, big shout out to Dwayne, who I can see on the call, Lyric Ventures, Warburg Ceres, and Hyperrhythm. And that's it for me. Just really excited to be here. We love building on Near, and just want to thank the foundation for all their support on our journey so far. Please feel free to, my details are here, reach out to me or Hugo if you just want to chat about gaming tech. It's what we love doing. So thanks so much for having us and for listening.
Thank you, John. And just stay where you are. We have a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So it seems that everything is piecing together for you. You have a lot of ambitions. You have a lot of plans for the next year, even for this year. So I would say my question would be more so related to the ambitions of the, NFTs applications, NFT application in the kind of gamifying and play to earn mechanic. So what's your kind of vision on how NFTs can be applied to gaming? What would be the best kind of application? Because right now NFTs and their application to games on Web3 is authenticity based. So you want to authentify an item, for example, in the game. So what's your kind of vision on how NFTs can apply to that?
Yeah, so I don't think there's one single answer, because it really depends on if you're building a sort of full Web3 type game versus if you're building a mobile game and the audience. But I'll tell you how it's kind of being deployed at the moment. So the real meta is using NFTs as a user acquisition tool, as a way of trying to attract the right kind of players early on, right, and reward loyal holders from the start that are engaging with your community but interacting with early versions of your game, can give you live feedback, creating UGC for you. So actually using NFTs as a loyalty and retention mechanic, I think that's how it's being successfully used by friends of mine at the moment. I think what it's starting to establish is it's not about this sense of earning. It's more about a sense of ownership and belonging in that community, and therefore what the NFT should transition to is exactly that. What NFT should be about. It shouldn't be about earning. It should be about community and identity. So I think we're now starting to see that now in Web3 games, that that's that sense of sort of loyalty and belonging. We're never going to get rid of. It's just human nature and capitalism, people flipping and trading. But I think when you talk about the games that we're building, where we're not really talking about gamers, that's why we're really excited, because really NFTs are really about your identity and expression of self. So some of the things we're going to be doing around swappable traits, that actually is not about making money. That's just about you and your identity and being a true representation of yourself. Just like in Web 2, I choose a blue hoodie. Someone else doesn't like hoodies. They prefer a certain jacket, right? It's about self-expression. But then that in itself is a game, right? Creating your own identity is a game. And that's my final point. When you look at Web3 gaming, some of these PFP collections are redefining what gaming means, right? Because gaming also in Web3 is this, right? It's about social, it's about community, it is about trading NFTs. That in itself is a game. And I actually, as a gamer, I found that fascinating, looking at new gamification business models.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. You guys not necessarily tapping into the market of seasoned gamers who basically play AAA games that are published by Activision, Blizzard, and so on. You are more so tapping into the casual gamers who are not necessarily know that a game is on Web3, but they might be attracted to the functionality of Web3 and the idea of Web3 kind of and NFTs being a part of that, but they don't know that it's there, but it's there, and it adds value to the game.
Yeah, that's correct. We're talking about like mass market consumers, 18 to 40, 50-50 male, female, all around the world that shouldn't really ever have to worry about blockchain, what chain they're on, any of that. They just know that they're in a game and something now is really fun. An existing game they're playing, there's this new thing, feature, skin, something that wasn't there before that they've now got the ability to own, trade, collect. So that's really what we're doing.
Got it. Yeah, and my colleague Okay, I know he's quite excited about gaming and NFTs. So I know he has a couple of questions himself.
Yeah, thank you, Jumbo. I'm truly fascinated by how quickly the GameFi industry has grown. And of course, I mean, it offers a wide range of new opportunities that the traditional gaming industry does not. So I was wondering to John, what are the main advantages for creators and gamers to interact with Play Ember's Web3 infrastructure?
So I think one of the reasons we've designed it is we're also a mobile game studio, and we went through early on some of the challenges for people that make our kind of games of Web3 infrastructure. So one of the benefits is our solution is built within Unity, that is the default game engine and one of the main monetization SDKs that every developer already knows how to use, right? So the fact that you can deploy it within your game within under an hour is incredible, right? You don't need any new skills. It's just like we're not teaching gamers to do something new. The same with studios. It's a very easy SDK to implement. What's the other benefits? Well, Unity developers are amazing at making games. They're not experts necessarily in Web3 technology, at building communities. So as we continue to grow, one of the benefits is we can bring new players into their existing games at a time when it is the hardest it's ever been to distribute your mobile game because of the challenges and some of the policy changes Apple and Google made in terms of like Web2 user acquisition. So I think it's really bringing this new revenue stream and new audiences into their game and giving them a really nice entry point into Web3 games. And our hope is they love what we're doing and we're a start of their journey into maybe launching their own Web3 project.
Sounds great. Thanks for sharing. Then my final question. I think out of own experience, a lot of projects in the GameFi industry have a big challenge, strong balance between a fun game to play, like ongoingly, and healthy economics. So how does Play Ember tackle those challenges?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I think for us, one of the unique things about our model and the reason we're big believers in mobile that sustains our economy is we have advertising, right? It's this $billion machine that drives free-to-play mobile games. They couldn't be free without advertising, right? We need to bring revenue in somehow. So really, the stabilization in our economy is that we do have ad revenue that we're able to redistribute through players and really sustain what we're at the early stages of doing, versus in Web3 at the moment, there are some people raising, you don't have ads. So really your main revenue stream in the bull run was either if you've launched a tokens, fill up your treasury, or paid NFT mints at a time when crypto was a lot higher than it is now. Whereas now, as the previous question, NFT shouldn't be about making money initially. It's about player acquisition and loyalty, and generally the meta now is free mints. So for us, really, that is how we're going to stabilize and grow our economy, by continuing to work really closely with brands and advertisers, but about getting a much healthier balance about where that advertising revenue ends up, e.g., players that are actively in our community, versus a large chunk of that going back to a lot of the Web2 walled gardens that make billions of dollars every year off all of us here through playing games.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, and I truly admire your vision in the GameFi space. So wishing you all the best behind the screens, and have a great day, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it. Thank you.